I've heard from so many people who have said, Dr. Debbie, I'm going to lose my job. I can't hold it together. I can't focus. I can't concentrate. I'm making mistakes. I'm not selling as much as I usually do. These are all signs of an unhealed betrayal. So in the Betrayal Recovery Roadmap, it's really designed for businesses, but I'm going to ask you a few questions so you can see, is an unhealed betrayal affecting your work? Whether you're a manager, whether you're just working in a company, whether you're the head of the company, it doesn't make a difference. This is how you know it's affecting you. Ready? How consistently are you able to stay focused and productive and present during your workday? I have a list of 4 different options for each one, but just assess. Have you noticed an increased emotional reactivity, frustration, irritability, withdrawal in yourself or your team without a clear work-related cause? How would you describe your leadership energy lately? And then the next section, when personal issues affect your performance or leadership, what happens? Do you take space and deal with it? You push through it? You try to hide it? You shut down? These are all signs of an unhealed betrayal. Is there space in your company culture to acknowledge and process emotional weight that's not directly work-related? Now, you may have in your company where you can go to therapy or something, but is there something specifically for betrayal? I can promise you there's not. If a leader or employee has experienced a betrayal, divorce, infidelity, broken trust, how is their capacity to function at work typically handled? With compassion, with concern, it's ignored, it's viewed as a performance issue. And it is, what's happening is, yes, the performance is affected, but it's because of the unhealed betrayal. Let's see. Have you explored how unhealed betrayal can manifest as burnout, brain fog, or overperformance in the workplace? I mean, I can go on, but I think, really the point here is that it's showing up in the workplace, but it has nothing to do with the workplace. This has to do with what happened outside of the workplace. And we think, well, I'll just leave it outside and I'm just going to show up and push forward and keep going. But these are things that they don't heal on their own. And you may do all you can to just push through, but what's happening is that unhealed betrayal is having you, you're hyper-vigilant, you don't trust, you may be micromanaging, you're exhausted. So think about it. If you're exhausted, how can you show up the way you want to? Or let's say your job calls for creativity. Well, how can you be creative if first of all, your confidence was shattered? So if you're like, well, if I just put this out there, I don't know, will I be rejected? Whereas, if you've been betrayed, you already know that feeling of rejection. You don't want to feel that again. Or maybe you have a program, a product, or a service. Well, how confident are you in promoting that if you feel shut down because of how you felt abandoned, right? Or let's say, because your health has tanked, because that's really typical with the signs of post-betrayal syndrome. Now you're supposed to go out there and promote your, what you have. Well, maybe you've been putting on weight because you're emotionally eating because you're struggling with the unhealed betrayal. You see, and you don't feel confident in your own skin. It's showing up everywhere. And what happens is we're medicating and suppressing the symptoms and doing every single other thing except getting to the root of it, which is the unhealed betrayal. When you deal with the root cause, which is how your physical, mental, and emotional health has plummeted since that betrayal, and I'm not kidding, even if it happened decades ago, it's affecting how you show up today. We even had a woman in our community in her mid-80s, and she had a 70-plus year digestive issue. 45% of everybody betrayed has a gut issue because of a family betrayal. She was adopted. They didn't tell her it was like one of those. And 70-plus years, she had a digestive issue. 2 weeks into our program, she healed from a 70-plus year digestive issue. That's what happens when you deal with the betrayal. You can deal with everything else. You can deal with all of the symptoms, but when you deal with the root, everything changes. So of course, if any of my PBT coaches can help you, if I can help you, everything is at the PBT, as in post-betrayal transformation, thepbtinstitute.com. Let's get you feeling better so you perform better, so you show up better, so you make the money you're supposed to, and all of that. There's so much that can be healed when you deal with the root cause instead of hacking away at the leaves. I hope that helps. Follow for more.